Hey friends, welcome. Picture this. You're climbing a mountain. It's been a long, grueling trek, and all you can think about is reaching the top. You're exhausted, and you imagine that happiness is waiting for you at the summit. But what if when you finally get there, the joy doesn't last as long as you expected? What if you realize that the most meaningful parts were in the breathtaking sunrise halfway up, the birds singing in the distance, and the kind strangers who shared their snacks with you along the trail? Now, this isn't just about climbing mountains, it's about life. So many of us think happiness lies at the end of our goals, but science and real-life experiences show us that true joy is found in the journey itself. Today, let's dive into how we can harness that joy every step of the way. Shift your mindset to embrace the process. So, think about a time when you were chasing a big goal. Did you spend all your energy focused on the finish line? Did it feel like you were the only celebrating once you achieved it? Well, here's the truth. When you shift your mindset to embrace the process, you don't just celebrate when you win. You find fulfillment in every step along the way. Harvard researchers have found that dopamine, the feel-good hormone, releases not only when we succeed, but also when we make progress. So let's change the narrative from "I'll be happy when" to "I'm grateful for the growth I'm experiencing now." Celebrate every little win, whether it's mastering a new skill, pushing through a tough workout, or simply completing one more page of that book you've been meaning to finish. Let's find joy in the progress, not just perfection. Practice mindfulness and be present. In a world that is constantly rushing, right? It's always moving. How often do we slow down and actually savor the moment? Mindfulness is more than just a buzzword. It's a scientifically proven way to enhance our happiness. So imagine this. You're sitting with a friend over coffee, but instead of fully listening, you're thinking about the next meeting, the next task, or your next challenge. Researchers at the University of Massachusetts found that when people practice mindfulness, they experience more happiness, less stress, and greater emotional balance. So how do we do this? Well, we start by focusing on one thing at a time. If you're eating lunch, taste each bite. If you're on a walk, notice the breeze, the rustling leaves, the sounds of nature. Being present allows you to enjoy the journey now, not just at some distant endpoint. Find meaning in your actions, not just the results. So, how often have you pursued something just because of the potential reward? But what happens if you fall short? Does it mean the journey was wasted? Well, absolutely not. And Viktor Frankl, a renowned psychologist, once said, "Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how." And science supports this idea. When people pursue meaningful activities, they report higher levels of life satisfaction, regardless of the outcome. So ask yourself, why am I doing this? If you're training for a marathon, maybe it's not just about crossing the finish line. Maybe it's about proving to yourself that you can do hard things, raising awareness for a cause, or even simply improving your health. When you know your why, every action becomes a source of fulfillment, and the journey itself becomes a joy-filled process, no matter the result. Cultivate gratitude, the simple, powerful habit. And I talk about gratitude all the time, don't I? I love gratitude. You know why? Because a recommendation I'm about to make really works. My wife does it every day. In the morning when she wakes up, she writes down 3 things she's grateful for, and it's changed her outlook. It's amazing. She had a beautiful outlook before, don't get me wrong, but she tells me that she loves it and it's something she looks forward to doing now. Because gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It's a mindset that shifts our focus from what's missing to what's present. And Dr. Robert Emmons, a leading researcher on gratitude, found that people who actively practice gratitude are not only happier, but also physically healthier. It's simple. When you regularly reflect on what's good in your life, like a warm cup of coffee on a chilly morning, the smile of a stranger, or even just a lesson learned from a challenge, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, and these are the chemicals that make you feel good. So, why not make gratitude a habit? Take just 2 minutes at the end or the beginning of your day to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They can be as small as a good conversation or as big as a major breakthrough. Gratitude shifts your perspective and makes the journey far more joyful, especially on the tough days. Build strong relationships along the way. What makes a trip unforgettable? The places you see? Maybe, but for me it's often the people I'm with that truly make it meaningful. There's a famous Harvard study on adult development that found that good relationships are the strongest predictor of happiness. And people who have strong social connections are not only happier, but live longer and healthier lives. This is because social interactions release oxytocin, the bonding hormone that reduces stress and increases your joy. So don't just pursue your goals alone. Share your journey, celebrate wins, and laugh at the setbacks. Lean on others when things get tough, because investing in relationships adds meaning to your path and makes reaching the goal even that much sweeter, knowing you didn't travel it alone. Now, finding joy in the journey isn't just a catchy phrase, and it's something I talk about quite often here, I know. But you know what? It's a science-backed strategy for living a happier and healthier life. And if anybody deserves to be happier and healthier, it's you. And if I can say or do anything to help enhance and actually make that happen, I'm going to come back and talk about this topic as often as I can, just to hopefully help you to have a better life. Because as you chase your dreams, it's important for you to remember to pause and appreciate the moments that make the path worthwhile. It's not just about the destination. It's about how you get there, and more importantly, who you become along the way. I know this is 100% truth. It's funny. I have a nice place to live now, and I have had the cool cars and the travel, and there isn't much that I've wanted to see that I haven't had the opportunity to see. And I have beautiful family. I've had pretty much everything I've ever asked for. I've worked for it, but I've had it. And we don't ever really talk about where we are now or the things we have now. All of our stories, and it's probably similar with you, are from the past. It was our journey that got us here. Those are the things that inspire us to continue to move forward. My wife and I, we can pretty much go and do whatever we want, but we always come back to the conversation of when we used to do simple things. We lived in a 2-bedroom apartment when I first met her, and we used to play Monopoly. And we play Monopoly to the extreme. We would play Monopoly where we'd have pens and paper and we'd keep tallies, and we had a bank and we could borrow from the bank, and it was crazy. We had this incredible Monopoly phase we went through, but we were so happy because we weren't doing things that cost money. We didn't have any money, but we were doing things together, and it's that time well spent. Those are the memories that are important to us now. And with our kids, we always talk about when they were younger and the things we used to do with them while they were young. Not because we want them to stay young forever. Shh. Actually, I don't want them to grow up at all. If anybody knows of a pill that'll keep them small forever, send me an email. But otherwise, I mean, we just talk about our journey here. It's been so much fun. It's been so beautiful. Heck, I wasn't supposed to live to be 30 years old. So I've been on a journey for 19 years now that wasn't even supposed to happen. So as a result of that, I feel very blessed, and I'm very thankful for this journey. But I can tell you that my happiness right now doesn't come from where I am today. It comes from thinking about the journey and the path as we've gotten here. And it reminds me that I'm still on a path and I'm still having a journey. And it reminds me to be mindful and very careful of how I treat those around me and how I view circumstances, because these are the memories that I'm creating right now that I'm going to think about in another 10 years and appreciate, and probably be telling the same story I'm telling right now about how important it is to focus on your journey. And, I guess what I'm just trying to say is the next time you set a goal, ask yourself, am I ready to love the process, embrace growth, and find joy along the path? Because when you do, you'll find that happiness isn't a prize waiting at the end. It's the companion you've had all along. And it's true. You know what? I care about you. These are my favorite times when I can just come and just talk and ramble a little bit and spend some time with you, because you're important to me and you keep me healthy and you keep me motivated, and I appreciate that. I hope you'll come back tomorrow so we can talk further. Have a beautiful day, friends. Take care. Thanks again for coming around today. It was good to see you.